Halo Infinite's campaign is an epic and heroic journey that follows the Master Chief to Zeta Halo, a new Halo ring with epic experiences and also threats. Today we are going to recap Halo Infinite's entire story or campaign and explain everything you need to know or miss involving Chief's latest cinematic journey. Of course, there are spoilers ahead, and let's get right into it. Master Chief has been through a lot. 20 years worth of games, books, shows, and who knows what else. I did make a video detailing the entire story of Master Chief leading up to Infinite, so if you'd like to watch that first and don't know much about Halo, you can click this card at the top right or in the description below. Halo Infinite's story begins after the events of Halo 5. A group known as the Banished have formed from brutes and what remained of the Covenant's empire. The Banished are a ruthless force that have their own agenda. Formed by their leader Atriox, the Banished believe in brotherhood and annihilation. They will not worship prophets like the Covenant did with false gods, they will just invade, kill, loot, and build their new armies with what they obtain. Halo Wars 2 a couple of years ago basically set up the story of the Banished, and we get to further explore it here in Infinite. Infinite's opening cutscene shows us how the battle was lost. Atriox and the Banished would slaughter UNSC forces and human worlds across the system, even taking out the UNSC Infinity, humanity's largest vessel, in just 4 minutes. Master Chief's journey in Halo Infinite begins here, fighting Atriox. After a hectic battle, Atriox tosses Chief off of the ship, expecting him to die. But the Master Chief is no surprise to danger, and he's been here before.
My name is Atriox, and I am the last face you will ever see.
Drifting in space, Chief is found by a UNSC pilot, Echo 216. Right off the bat here, we can see the great writing at work. After the pilot gets Chief up and running, he reveals the truth, that the UNSC lost the war and that part of Zeta Halo was destroyed. The pilot has been trapped out here in this Pelican for a while and just wants to go home, but Chief wants answers.
Not then! Not again! We need to run!
I need a weapon.
Weapon? This is all I've got.
It's enough.
Upon boarding a Banished vessel, Chief battles through a small army to make his way to the bridge, where he activates the ship's engines. Throughout the ship, you'll encounter some brute holograms. Escharum, the new chief of the Banished, explains his goals. That he will fight for the will of Atriox, who appears to be missing. That he will control the ring, and that the Banished will reign victorious.
Atriox, hear these words. Even from beyond this life, your will is served. Your forces occupy the ring. Within hours, it will be under our control.
After Chief destroys the ship, the pilot picks him up and he plans his next move. Not long after that, Chief descends to Zeta Halo to stop the Banished first of all, but most importantly to find the weapon.
What is it? What's down there?
A weapon.
A weapon? How many guns do you need?
What happened? Where is Cortana?
The rogue AI known as Cortana is gone. She's been deleted.
How? By you?
Of course not. Did you hit your head or something? Don't you remember? My instructions were to enter this installation, imitate Cortana, and lock her down for retrieval. Yours were to take her back to the Infinity for deletion. So if it wasn't you... Okay then. There's something else. On successful deployment, my deletion routine was supposed to complete. Still here.
The weapon is a new AI that was created to delete Cortana. Master Chief and the weapon would then journey throughout Zeta Halo together to find answers. Chief struggled with the reality of the past games, that he couldn't protect Cortana, and it was partially his fault that all of this had happened in the first place. The player then gets a prompt to insert the AI chip, and this kicks off your connection with your new AI. Throughout the game, Chief really doesn't trust the weapon. He's seen what happened to Cortana, and would that be the same with her? Would she just go rampant and turn on him as well? During the experience, Chief will also hear whispers at certain times and have flashbacks of Cortana. Certain things she told him, she said, and moments like this one where Dr. Halsey assigned the two together. You can really see how this impacts the Chief though, and he keeps what happened with Cortana a secret to the weapon. The weapon asks for answers, what happened with Cortana, why he won't explain things to her, but the Chief won't budge.
Is this classified? Because I don't have all the information. What intel did Dr. Halsey give you before your mission?
Halsey only tells people what they need to know.
After emerging to the surface, the group proceeds to a giant tower they had seen during their flyover. Maybe this place would have some answers. Inside, Chief finds a Spartan barely clinging to life.
Easy. You're safe now.
The Banished, they have something they call the conservatory. That's all I know. It's picked up north of here. Dig site. I couldn't stop them. But you can. You have to.
Inside the conservatory, Chief finds Despondent Pyre, the monitor of Installation 07. It tells him that the Harbinger has returned somehow, a being that was in exile and is not supposed to be alive.
Open it.
Help me! This installation, the Harbinger, exile was absolute. How did she return? It's impossible. This cannot be. I need to go back. Find out what happened.
We should help her.
Maybe.
No, she's correct. I request your assistance.
Who are you? What's your name?
I am Despondent Pyre, monitor of this installation, and this is my conservatory. My conservatory. This is not right. Perhaps you would... Oh no!
The Harbinger is of a different race than the other species we've come across in Halo. She works with the Banished as they share the same goal to rebuild the ring, and she's seen multiple times throughout the campaign. The conservatory seems to be a place of interest to the Harbinger, but also Cortana. In a flashback, we see her speaking to the monitor. Something has been imprisoned on this ring.
Containment? The Flood? Why would I... You and I both know that there are worse things than the Flood within this ring.
Chief eventually finds the Harbinger, who explains what she's looking for. The Endless will be found. They will ascend. Now that definitely doesn't sound good, and this is most likely a new alien race, as we've never heard of them before. From what we know so far, it would appear they were trapped on this ring, and the Harbinger is looking to bring them back.
I know of you, Reclaimer. But hear this. You are not the future.
You okay, Chief? I'm trying to get the armor unlocked.
Try harder.
The Forerunner's lies are at an end. I am the Harbinger of the truth. The Endless will be found. They will ascend.
Now would be good.
I know. 3,
The Reformation begins.
2...
After ascending a Forerunner spire, Chief learns the spire is rebuilding the material to repair the ring. Now this is obviously not good, as the Banished want to rebuild the ring and probably fire it, and that's never a good time. Just look at the past Halo games and see how some of those turned out. But there's an issue here. This spire does rebuild parts of the ring, but it's not the only one. There's tons of other spires around the ring world.
Active.
No, not yet at least. They appear to be waiting for an initialization sequence. Something is flooding the network trying to start it, but there's resistance. Design. Oops, I think she knows I'm...
How are you doing this?
Disconnect.
Give me 1 second to get it...
Now.
It's done. Why don't you trust me?
What was that?
After jumping off the spire and crash landing in the Pelican, Chief sets out to destroy 3 banished air cannons while the pilot waits impatiently. This was from the E3 trailers. The pilot just wants to leave, but instead Chief intends to keep fighting and still resides in the ring, trying to wipe out the banished and learn what happened to Cortana.
Where? Are you even listening?
I count 3 anti-aircraft cannons.
At each of the cannons, Chief would insert the weapon. She brings up a panel and then you can destroy the cannon, and Escharum speaks. Escharum and the Harbinger want to find some place called the Auditorium. We can also see that Escharum wants Chief alive and has sent a skilled assassin to search for his whereabouts.
The scent grows stronger. Save your strength. I need something of you, old friend. Anything. Bring me the Master Chief. Alive.
While Chief is out there grappling between anti-air cannons, Escharum deploys Spartan killers to the surface. These are the same Spartan killers who killed, well, the Spartans previously in the campaign, the ones you find like this one. So while Chief is out there destroying the cannons, there's another issue. The pilot was all alone and these killers were now on their way.
There's a repeated message across all banished frequencies. The first part is Hand of Atriox.
And then what?
Deploy.
Chief, where are you?
Hold position. We're on our way.
I'm sorry, Chief. I can't stay.
I've lost his signal. If the Spartan killers find him,
That won't happen.
how can you be sure?
Because they'll need to go through me first.
After destroying all the cannons, Chief encounters the killers and then saves the pilot.
I should have known better. Torn apart. Completely gutted. Sleep space drives obliterated.
We don't have the time.
Over there's another. Shattered and cratered over a kilometer. When? When is it enough, Chief? And we're in there? Because that's where I belong. In there. With them. I stole that Pelican. I stole it. You know why? Of course you don't. Have you ever been scared? So scared that you... I'm worthless. You should leave me here with the rest of the carpets.
We all fail. We all make mistakes. It's what makes us human.
I'm sorry, Chief, but how have you ever failed?
I should have protected Cortana. Stopped everything from going wrong. I failed her. I will not fail you.
Chief and the pilot have been through a lot. At first, things are a little iffy. We can see the pilot doesn't really like Chief. He's like, alright, just get me out of here, take me home. But we can slowly see this bond start to form. From the pilot's attitude toward leaving the ring to standing by Master Chief's decision, Chief really feels for him as well.
This is all I've got.
It's all we need. Our only way home is straight through the heart of the banished.
We need you.
We can fix this.
Together.
Of course we can.
Obviously, a big mystery in all of this is that Chief wants to know more about who killed Cortana and what happened to her.
You want to know who killed her. You need to know. She was important to you. Very important.
She's...
With that in mind, the spire was now the new goal. but first, Chief had to activate 3 beacons around the map. Along the way, you get some interesting facts. In one scenario, the pilot explains that he was just a civilian contractor who stole the Pelican when he got scared. He's not really a pilot, and that he had no family and no one left. But now he's relieved as he has Chief and the weapon.
You got family, Chief? Anyone special out there?
No,
Then why do you do this? Again and again.
it's all I know.
At the beacons, the weapon begins to feel weird, like someone is watching her as she interacts with the installation. Chief, who hasn't really trusted her throughout the game up to this point, almost has enough and is a little suspicious. He scans through his protocols and almost decides to delete the AI.
Stalemate.
For now. She's close. Eventually she'll find a way.
Then we have no choice. I've got you. Red flag.
Nothing happened. Sorry. Maybe I'm going crazy. Or just paranoid. Did you say something back there?
It was nothing.
Okay. Well, we've got what we need.
With the beacons now online, the spire can be accessed.
What will it take for you to trust me?
Spire first.
At the spire, Chief inserts the weapon and the Harbinger intervenes. Thinking the weapon brought the Harbinger on her own, Chief tries to delete the AI for good.
The auditorium will spill its secrets. The Endless will walk this world once more.
I can't fight it! Please!
Red flag. 034.
Doing?
Samuel.
You said... I thought we were a team. I thought we were a team. Take care of it? You said you'd take care of me. You were going to delete me.
And you stopped me. You put us all at risk.
No, I saved us. No thanks to you.
The Reformation.
Yeah, it's begun. So what? Look what I have. Infiltration program, remember?
You broke protocol.
What is wrong with you? I was trying to help you. Trying to help us. It was worth the risk. It doesn't matter. There's your grav lift. Let's get this over with.
The weapon overrides this deletion, and for the next few missions is very upset with the Master Chief. The reformation that all of these characters have been speaking of appears to be happening at a place called the Silent Auditorium. At first, the pair don't know what the purpose of this place is, but with banished forces surrounding it heavily, it seemed like a good place to start. Before that though, at the top of the spire, the weapon confronts Chief about his trust in her.
Explain this to me. I waited 6 months. I've done everything you've asked. I was supposed to be deleted. You're the reason I'm still here, you. All of this, you could not have done it without me, none of it. I trusted you. Why can't you do the same?
You don't understand.
Try me.
Cortana.
Is gone. Dead. All that's left are echoes, and sooner or later they'll be gone too.
Will they?
Are you two alive? All the spires are...
The assassin sent by Escharum manages to steal the pilot and bring him to the banished leader. alive. Chief's new goal was now to save the pilot at all cost. They were friends now, and he made him a promise.
Keep him alive, but have your fun. You have earned it.
Chief and the weapon plan their rescue. Escharum wants one final showdown, being the big baddie he is, and says that, yeah, he'll keep the pilot alive, he just wants to fight Chief. It's also in moments like these that Chief reveals his struggle with Cortana and the truth about the weapon, that she is in fact a copy of Cortana herself.
She destroyed their home? Escharum's? Atriox's? An entire planet? How could she do that?
It's my fault.
How?
I should have stopped it. I could have reasoned with her.
Could you? It was her choice, her programming.
Was it? I don't know anymore.
There's something you're not telling me.
The only way to access the ring, to reach Cortana,
was to make a copy. I'll get this open. Reconsider.
The consequences of your...
Back to your conservatory, monitor. There's your grav lift. Let's get this over with.
And remember, you chose this path.
I'm her?
Yes. An exact copy. It was the only option we had left.
My routines, systems.
All copies. Halsey removed any information that could compromise you. You're her. If we'd never met.
Will I do what she did? Become what she became? Am I that already?
My mission was to ensure that doesn't happen. It still is.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That wasn't me. It can't be. I shouldn't be here. Your mission was to destroy me. I've restored the deletion protocols. I'm ready. It has been an honor. Just promise me one thing. Whatever happens, save him. He needs you. You're all he has.
We do it together.
How can you trust me?
I don't. But I want to.
After an epic pursuit and firefight throughout the canyons to the House of Reckoning, Chief partakes in Escherum's trials of combat, slaying warriors and then the assassin himself before reaching Escharum and the pilot at the top of the facility. This was the final battle that Escharum was longing for.
Bear witness! Our story will become legend, told by those that survive you. Tell you where you stand.
You did it. Help me get him out.
Okay.
I can't believe you came for me. So we're done now, right?
Spartan! Fight me.
It's over.
Nothing ends. My death will inspire 1,000 others. Tell them I died well.
I don't understand. You showed him respect. He was a monster.
Yes. But at the end, he was just a soldier. Hoping he'd done the right thing. Questioning his choices.
The last stop would now be the silent auditorium. The weapon comes to a realization, though, that this place was where Cortana died. Chief would finally get his answers.
This is where I locked her down. This is where Cortana died.
What do we call her?
Here, go! Did you hear me? We're here. You need to go, now!
Before Cortana was killed, she had an encounter with Atriox, who wanted to control Zeta Halo. At this point, this was when Cortana was still policing the solar system after the events of Halo 5 with her Guardians, so keep that in mind.
I have little need for a failed god. This ring is all I need. Surrender it to me.
Throughout more flashbacks, we see that Cortana realizes that Halsey made another copy of her. And now that Atriox had assumed control of the ring, she had one last decision: to destroy the ring and to sacrifice herself. It appears she was also the one who stopped the weapon's deletion.
How could I have been so stupid? Halsey made a copy. It was the only way. There's not much time. If Atriox takes control, he has the ring. A weapon pointed into the universe. Nothing left to lose. My fault. My stupid fault. Not much time. Will this work? There's a moment. John will make it work. He needs help. Of course. Was this your plan all along, Halsey? Or is it mine? It doesn't matter now. Nothing else matters. This has got to work. He can't do it on his own. He needs me. He needs her. It was her. She destroyed the ring, stopped my deletion. Why?
With the silent auditorium located, the Harbinger was the last obstacle. She would reside in the center, the place where Cortana died, trying to summon something, the Endless Ones.
Here. This is where Cortana
Sacrificed herself.
Why?
To cover their sins, we stood silent, unable to speak as they passed judgment. We could not defend ourselves. We could not reason with them.
Something's sending a signal. Before you ask, I'm already tracking it.
Hear this, Forerunners. Your auditorium has fallen. The Endless found. Your sins undone. Today we return.
You fight waves of enemies and take down the Harbinger's shields as the weapon says something else is trying to help her, but she's not sure what it is. In the end, the Harbinger would be defeated.
I am sorry it took so long.
Who's she talking to?
Unknown. The signal's old? Like, really old.
My time is ended. Yours, too. They will make sure.
We need extraction.
Of course you do. On my way.
To conclude, Chief witnesses a recording of Cortana. She explains to him what had happened there on the ring, and that she sacrificed herself to see him continue his journey, to save those in need, protect humanity, and build a relationship with his new AI.
Do you see what I see? So much potential. I'm sorry. I didn't have long to plan this. A few milliseconds, really. I hope it worked out. Look at us. We just keep saying goodbye, don't we? But this isn't an end. It's a chance to make amends, to rectify mistakes. And it starts here. I was wrong. I thought that I could do this on my own. But I forgot that the whole point of all of this, the entire reason that I chose you in the first place, was that we were supposed to be a team. Perfectly suited, perfectly matched, perfect. In these final moments, I know what my last mission is. I need to make sure you two learn from my mistakes. Become stronger because of them. I chose well, Master Chief. I really did. Now, it's up to you. Are you all right? I don't know what to say.
Pilot picks up Chief a few days later after he goes through a teleporter and things are looking up. Chief learns the name of the pilot here, Fernando Esparza, and the weapon gets to pick her name, just like Cortana did all those years ago. At this point, the credits then roll and you get a post scene if you sort of wait things out. In this scene, we see Atriox approaching to assumingly awaken the Endless Ones. In that last cutscene with the Harbinger, she said, "You have all you need." So she may have been speaking to Atriox there, who then activates the chamber now. If you complete this on Legendary though, you will also hear some dialogue voiced over this scene, of the Forerunners long ago who trapped the Endless One species.
The Endless must be contained. I will inform the Criterion to proceed.
They believe we are here to help.
It matters not. Today we do what it takes to maintain order, to preserve our truth. Time will forget they ever existed.
Time is not a construct we can control.
And we cannot allow it to be theirs. If Halo cannot end them, it must imprison them. When it is done, the engineers will be busy. We will learn their secrets.
I fear I cannot do this alone.
You shall not be alone. The Criterion has given the order. Offensive bias has been deployed.
So that is Halo Infinite's entire story. Here's a quick recap. Master Chief has a new beginning. After being defeated with Cortana's death in Halo 4 and craziness in Halo 5, he felt like all of that was his fault. At first, here in Infinite, he didn't trust his new AI, the weapon, but throughout the game they slowly grew closer, and this bond can only grow stronger as Cortana is now gone. Crazy Halo 5 Cortana came into contact with Atriox, who wanted the ring. He took control of the ring, and Cortana realized that this was really bad and she's been here before. Cortana also sees that Halsey made another copy of herself, the weapon. She then would record a final message where she told Chief to forgive her, forgive each other, and remember the good times they had together. She then would stop the weapon's deletion and sacrifice herself to destroy the ring. The pilot was a random engineer who stole a Pelican to get off-world. He somehow ended up with Chief on board and escorted him throughout his epic journey. His name is Esparza, Fernando Esparza. The Endless Ones appear to be coming sometime in the future. The Harbinger's goal was this. It appears this race was imprisoned by the Forerunners and she intended to bring them back, which Atriox possibly does in that legendary ending. Anyway, Spartans, that's all I got for today's video. Halo Infinite was a great game. 343 did a fantastic job with the campaign, and I'd like to know your thoughts down below. As I mentioned, I uploaded the entire story of Master Chief a couple of months ago, and also the entire Halo Infinite campaign if you'd like to watch that a full playthrough. Anyway, if you'd like to see some more Halo and also Destiny content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. My name's Yves, and I'll catch you Spartans in the next one.